Welcome to this daily guided meditation practice. This is the Attentive Mind. My name is Nathan, and I'll be guiding you through this meditation practice today. Find yourself a seated position. You want to find a position that is comfortable and sturdy. You don't want to feel like you're about to fall over during the practice, but you also don't want to be uncomfortable, like sitting on your foot or sitting in a weird crouched position. You want to be comfortable because you don't want to move during the practice either. So just find what works for you. A chair is really useful. You can even sit on the floor in a formal meditation posture. You can even lie down. Just find what works for you. Just don't fall asleep. We also keep our eyes open during this practice. However, if you have learned to practice with your eyes closed, or you feel more comfortable meditating with your eyes closed, feel free to do so. There are no hindrances here. But if your eyes are open, go ahead and just leave the screen alone and drop your gaze gently down below you, kind of glancing at the floor or the desk or whatever is just below you. We're not staring at a particular spot on the floor. We're not focusing. We're also not zoned out and blurry. We have a gentle middle ground, kind of looking gently and softly and clearly downwards. You're in a comfortable position, and your eyes are either closed or open, directed softly and gently downwards. As we begin our practice, it's important to know that meditation isn't a doing so much as it is a letting happen. In other words, we begin meditation by allowing things to be exactly as they already are. Not controlling anything. So just notice this moment. Notice what you notice and allow it to be exactly as it is. Noticing various sounds, body sensations, sights. Just let it all be. We even notice our thoughts as they talk to us, trying to get us to pay attention. We just notice them too and let them think what they want to. Everything is happening right here, and we let it happen. Don't control anything. And maybe you'll notice how the mind keeps stealing your attention. You're trying to notice everything and letting it be, but then you start thinking about dinner or breakfast or that fight you got in. But thoughts don't have to disappear for us to be aware of this moment. We just need to leave them alone and let them do their thing. You don't create thinking. It happens by itself in the same way that the heartbeat happens by itself. Just don't take ownership. And instead of paying attention to this next thought, bring your attention to the coming and going of the breath, the naturally rhythmic breath. You can notice the breath anywhere from the tip of the nose, the chest, the lower belly, or anywhere in between. Your thoughts will try to take your attention. You'll start trying to think about the breath, think about meditation, and think about this and think about that, but just return to the coming and going of breathing. Like a cat waiting outside a mouse hole for the mouse. Perfectly aware, completely attentive. Notice breathing and allow thoughts to think whatever they want to. And I'm probably catching you already thinking again, losing the breath. And that's okay. This is not a failure. When you notice that you're lost in thought and the breath is no longer attended to, just return to it gently, as effortlessly as you can, rising and falling. Come back Gently return to breathing. Wake up. Wake up from thinking. Return to breathing, rising and falling. There's something here. Or is there? There's a movement between thinking and breathing. There seems to be some sort of center that gets lost in thought, but then returns to the breath. We refer to this so-called center as I or me. But is there actually a center there? Can this place be seen at all? Turn the attention back. Leave the breath alone and leave the thoughts alone. What do thoughts talk to? What notices the breath? In the same way you found the breath with attention, take that attention and look for the looker. Look for the center. Turn back. Notice how there's absolutely nothing to find. There's nowhere to go to understand this. So just stay there. Remain as this don't know, not knowing mind, and completely rest. All right, you can look at the screen. You know, it's really a challenge if you want to start meditating and you want to start doing this on a regular basis. And I'm sure you've noticed that if you've tried to start a regular practice. And I hope that these videos are some help to that. But remember, and I bring this guy up all the time, but Ajahn Chah, he was a Theravada Thai forest tradition monk. Very amazing Zen, very amazing meditation teacher. But he always says, if you have time to breathe, you have time to practice. And it's a really profound statement because the truth is that you don't need to sit in a formal practice setting and you don't need to turn on a video on the internet to actually practice this. This isn't something for a particular part of the day, although it's important to have it as a particular part of the day. But the practice essentially never ends. The breath is always here. It's always present. And we can always notice it. And the only reason the breath can be an important anchor is because it only happens now. You don't notice your in-breath yesterday. You can't perceive the out-breath tomorrow. You can only notice it now. And thinking goes on and on and on by itself. It never stops. It's a survival mechanism. It's a product of biology and evolution. It's here to keep you safe. That's why it's always worried and looking for problems and trying to solve it, trying to scan the environment and make sure everything's good and trying to be happy, trying to be successful. It's all that, but it's not you. And because you're paying attention to it, because I do the same thing, because we're paying attention to our thoughts all the time, we don't see what we are. So we just bring that attention to breathing. Let go of thinking. Let it do its thing. We leave it alone. And this is available to us at every moment. You can always ask, am I breathing in or out right now? Stay there. And the more we do this, the more we develop this affinity for the breath, we learn to leave our thinking alone. We learn to disidentify with thoughts. We stop calling the thoughts in our head me. That's my thinking, my opinions, my problems. There's thinking opinions, thinking's problems. It's just noise. So remember, you always can notice the breath. Don't wait. Don't wait for that perfect moment to meditate when everything's quiet, when you feel awake or you have more time. It's good to have a regular formal practice, don't get me wrong, but you can always practice. Can't urge that enough. And the more you practice when you're not in your formal setting, the more you're just doing the dishes and you're noticing the water. You're not lost in thought. You're very aware of the light and the sound and the smell of the soap. You're talking to a friend and you notice the gorgeousness of the eyes, the little patterns in their eyebrow, and you're paying attention fully to the moment. That translates back to the formal practice. When you sit and you're less likely to be ruminating about things and being like, oh, I can't stay with the breath. Oh, I can't turn my attention back. What about me, me, me? It stops. It matters. You want to increase the quality of your meditation formally? Practice, even when you're not formally sitting. Notice the breath. Don't wait, because you're always here. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for showing up. And as always, and without exception, I'll see you tomorrow.